Welcome. Welcome. It's Sue Lundquist, and it's the Gratitude Cafe, Pacific Northwesters, and our international audience. Hello. We have Canada in the house today.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we do. We got the spirits, we got the bubbling, we got the love. I know yesterday was the, love day of, marketing. Hoo ha ha ha. Hoo ha ha ha. It's love day every day. I know. Look at Benny. He's like, what's happening here?
I mean, if you want to go woo ha 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 somewhere else,
that's the official term.
Apparently, right?
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah, that is funny. Yes. Well, welcome, you guys. This is going to be a fun show. We're doing a call-in show today. And Nadine and I usually come on the first Tuesday of every month. However, because of Valentine's Day and it was yesterday, we thought, well, let's just do a Valentine's Day post show and connect you with your loved ones and also provide loving messages for you and those around you. And again, Nadine and I speak to this all the time. Take what resonates and leave the rest.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to call in, you're welcome to do that. Benny's going to take your call. You can do that at 1-888-298-5569 and locally 425-373-5527. YouTubers, hello, welcome. And also for the SoundCloud, iTunes, all that good, yummy stuff. Benny, why did my Zoom just go weird on me?
I don't know. Everything looks good on my end.
Okay, so it's just weird on my end.
It's the love spirits.
It's the love spirit. It's happened
right?
Twice. So how do I get back to my, there you are. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what you're doing on your side.
I don't know. But okay, so let me go back to what I was talking about. Messages and Nadine and I, it's so funny when we do these shows together. One, I absolutely love being able to exchange energies with Nadine and bringing spirit and messages and honestly just jumping in the quantum soup of love with Miss Nadine and talking about bridging the 3D and the 5D. And I love that. I mean, that's my niche, my specialty, because we can go and get readings and get massive healings. And then we go home and we're like, what do I do with that? Do I put boundaries? How do I communicate? All of that. And because those were the questions I was asking. You were asking the same thing, Miss Nadine, too. Yeah, so I went on this massive search of bridging the two of them together in addition to self-regulating tools, because it's a passion of mine. I love it. And it's a passion of a lot of people because there's a lot of questions out there. Where I was going with this is, it is so fun, I guess is the word, or interesting and curious, because I'll pull a card just to see where the theme of the show is going to be. And then I'll write down some notes and say, okay, because this is what Spirit's telling me that we're going to have a conversation about. And I get on the Zoom with Nadine and she's like, no, that's the exact same messages I was getting. So let's go to the conversation about messages. We're going to talk about messages because that's what we're both pulling in from Spirit. And then, of course, you can call in and get a reading as well. However, and it is apparently very important that we give you all a message about messages, asking the correct formulated questions, whether it's a yes and no answer. And also I was going to add in when the nervous system, I take myself, for example. So I can't really divulge all the information, but I got this phone call. Something really crazy and cool happened. My nervous system was like, holy shiitake mushroom, should I be doing this? Oh my God. So I have these 3 little pieces of paper, and this is a superpower tip, audience. So you can do this. You take 3 pieces of paper, you write yes, no, need more information. So I went to those pieces of paper, held them to my heart because I couldn't tap in. I was just like, oh my gosh, right? And a lot of us do that. So I just grabbed the pieces of paper, held them to my heart, took some nice deep breaths and said, is this choice for my highest good? Should I be doing this? XYZ, blah, blah, blah. I got a yes. So I went back to the phone and said, it's a yes. And so that's the superpower tip, and trusting and having the faith in that, right, Miss Nadine?
And you have to trust it, because sometimes even still, I'll redraw. Be like, if I don't get the answer I want, I'm like, which is information, but that's information as well, right?
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I would have been, whether I got a yes or a no, in that specific question, well, in any of them actually, because it's, holy shiitake, now it's going to happen, or holy shiitake, it didn't happen,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And lots of times, you do it and it's the right answer, but sometimes you're just like, I always want to like double check. And it's not that I don't trust, spirit. It's just that I don't trust myself sometimes. And we always talk about trust, but sometimes I want, a second opinion. Just
a second, a third, a fourth.
Or like, okay, this is one sign is picking the yes or no. Okay, now what's the next sign and the next sign, right? Like you want confirmation.
Yes.
Which is with everything, with all this psychic mediumship, what do we always talk about? Evidential. We need some confirmation that this is real, that we're connected. So the same thing comes for when we're doing it for ourselves. And we take it or leave it. Like sometimes we might get the answer and we're not ready for the answer. Even though we asked the question, we're actually not ready for the answer.
Yeah.
So then maybe we wait. Maybe we ask for other signs. Maybe we ask the papers, like you said, again, another time when we're actually ready to receive that answer or the message.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I can't.
So always be pressured. Don't always be pressured, to.
Well, that's your answer right there. If you feel that there's contraction or pressure, then just don't. Don't make any choices at that point, and that's why it's important too, for me to go take some really deep breaths, get grounded and go to my heart. And if I still am anxious about it, now there's a difference between, being really anxious about it or excited, there's, and I'm going to be excited if it's a yes, and I'm going to be excited if it's a no, but it's just a different little excitement if it's a no. I'm like, okay. Right.
Yeah.
And having that faith and trust that that's where it was supposed to be and what was supposed to be happening.
Well, the nice thing in that, is that you have that more information is needed.
Yes.
Right. So it's not just a yes or a no, 50-50, it's nice that you have that third option, because that's a good way for spirit to say it's not yet. It's not definite as of yet. More information is needed. So in the sense that's really the best way to go, is to have that third response. Or sometimes, when you get that yes or no answer, you have to really be in tune afterwards. So it might be no, and let's say you're disappointed. Okay, so the answer is no, and then you're kind of sad, let's say, but then you listen to what messages are coming into your head after you get the answer, because this is spirit talking to you directly. Even if it sounds like yourself and it's just your thoughts, spirit's really clear sometimes, and they're really repetitive, like we always talk about. But the thing is lots of times when I get the answer and it's no, even if I'm disappointed, spirit will be like, this is why the answer is no.
Yep.
This is why the answer is yes.
Yes, yes, and yes. And let's have the conversation. Remind all of you, we're taking calls today. So if you want to get in touch with your loved ones, you're welcome to call in 1-888-298-5569. Again, 1-888-298-5569. And locally in the Pacific Northwest, 425-373-5527.
There's a spirit around. There's a spirit around me right now that, when you were coughing earlier, I cannot stop feeling like this around my neck. So there's someone, I don't know if you're hearing this out there in the World Wide Web, call in if you can. If not, there's going to be a message later. But there's somebody who, and my feeling is like there's cancer related to it, like a throat cancer or something to do with like that, because I keep feeling in my neck. So just putting it out there, maybe somebody will call in. We'll see.
Could be my
I just had to say it because they're bugging me so bad. I have to get it off my chest, because if I don't say it when they're doing it, because they won't be quiet. So then I'm having a hard time focusing on what you're saying, because this one's coming in and choking me. Or
Well, do you want to bring her in? Do you want to bring, why did I say her?
I don't know. Maybe the caller is going to be a girl. Because this feels like masculine energy, but I'm usually wrong with that. I always, whenever I think it's a girl, it's usually a boy. I'm kind of backwards. I'm kind of backwards that way. But anyways, I'm just throwing it out there because I had to get it out of my head. Even if it doesn't happen on this show, I just had to get it out of there, so they
Leave you
let
alone.
me go.
Yeah.
So they release me from their grip. This is the weirdest conversation always.
It is. And it always is. And I know, guys, listen, we have this conversation, and we have this conversation purposefully to bring awareness. It's new thoughts, new ideas. It's literally new perspectives. And again, take what resonates and leave the rest. We're here to educate, to love on you, and to kind of be that squeaky wheel, you know, just because something is so or something is said doesn't mean it has to be. And there's a cute little story, and it talks about the subconscious and conscious, and there's this whole iceberg effect. And there's this, I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but there's like 3 or 4 generations of women in the kitchen. And the youngest of, like, the young daughter. So there's daughter, mom, grandma, and then great grandma. So they're in the kitchen, and the youngest, the daughter, is with the pan, and she cuts off both of the ends of the roast and sticks it in the pan. So great great grandma says, "Sweetheart, what are you doing?" And she says, "Well, I'm making it, you know, in the pan." And her mom jumps in and says, "Well, Grandma, you always did that. You always cut off the ends of the roast." And she's like, "The only reason I did it," so they're thinking it's some kind of tradition. And she's like, "Well, no. The only reason I did is so it would cut, you know," I'm totally messing this analogy up. "It would totally fit in the pan." There wasn't this. So there was 3 or 4 generations of women thinking that's how they had to cut the roast. When great grandma's saying, "No, I just cut it so it would fit in the pan." So you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. So they thought it was a tradition when it was just for fitting it in the pan.
So it doesn't have to be. You doesn't have to be. Looks like we have a caller, Kim from Bothell. Welcome, sweetheart. This is Sue.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. Meet Nadine. Do you have a question?
Hi, Nadine. Yeah, you were talking about throat cancer.
Mm-hmm.
My mom passed of throat cancer.
I'm going to cry. I feel I'm totally going to cry. And I don't usually do that, but I can feel that. I'm just covered in goosebumps. Absolutely.
There's our hers.
There's your, see, I'm usually always wrong. Number 1, I'm so sorry for your loss. Number 2, sorry.
Okay.
She is so close to you, your mom. She said, she gives me this symbol, like, we are so close. This means not only close emotionally, but this can be close distantly, like you lived in close proximity to each other. But there's definitely a closeness, and I'm not saying you didn't have your problems and whatever, but there's definitely a closeness, and your mom appreciates, especially at the end. Your mom says, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for her. What did she talk? So she's showing me multiple things at once because she's really excited to be here. But first thing she shows me a necklace. And she shows me pearls, but it doesn't mean that it's pearls. It could just be symbolic for, like, you have my necklace, or you were given a necklace. There's something about a special necklace. And then the other thing she showed me is a blanket. And my symbol for blanket is either she made blankets, or you have her blanket, or the other symbolic for me is she was really cold at the end. Like, she always needed to be warmed up with the blanket. Do either of those things make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. She talks about there's some kind of a move you're doing, or, like, first she says traveling, and then she says no, and then she's not really traveling, but moving somewhere, a distance. So do you travel for work, or have you moved recently? What is this movement of travel?
For the last over a year, we've been, we have our house is connected to a lot and we've been separating it. And so we're up in the air we're selling a lot, but we're up in the air about selling our house.
Okay. Okay. So that's the hesitation I'm feeling, right? When she says travel, no. And then she says moving, so I'm trying to, yeah, sorry, I'm mumbling here. So that totally makes sense is the hesitation about traveling. She says, just let go. Let go.
Let go.
And she says it just like that. Let go. Step forward with confidence. Step forward with confidence. You got this. Let it go.
Okay.
Whatever that means to you, let it go. I'm so thankful for you. She just can't stop gushing about how much she loves you and is so proud of you. She talks about how strong you are and how strong you were for her. And she says, my daughter made me feel not scared too. I'm sorry. I don't usually cry when I'm giving readings.
Well, yesterday was my mother-in-law's 12th anniversary of her death, and my mom passed away 12 years ago in March.
Wow.
Wow.
So lots of energy around you at Valentine's.
And look at the Queen of Hearts and the mothers. Come on.
Did you see what
Kim,
I was doing?
I don't know if you
drawing
caught
a heart just now with my finger. I was drawing a heart, and then you said Queen of
Hearts. Yes. So Kim, I don't know if you caught that. So I do that. I pull cards, and it could be from any deck. And I specifically pulled it based on my intuition and my guidance, saying pull from just a regular deck, proving and also educating not only ourselves, reminding ourselves and the audience that you can get messages from anywhere. So Queen of Hearts was pulled, and it's the feminine energy too. And it's all about love, and it's absolutely perfect timing. Kim, was mom or grandma really big into flowers or gardening, or is that something that you guys shared? Were you around a garden? Because they keep popping up flowers like gardens.
My mom was.
Okay. Is that a special place for you as well? Do you feel more in touch with her there?
Yeah, I have a picture of her garden and her little gnomes in it that she gave me years ago.
Is
and
there
it's funny, I have a 2-year-old granddaughter that she always goes and picks up that picture and pulls and walks around with it.
That's a message, love. What about poppies? I keep seeing the images of those like poppy flowers. You know, the ones with the no?
She didn't grow poppy flowers.
Okay.
What does poppies represent? This is something that you can go and have a look. There must be a sign or symbol. For me, poppies are remembrance. So it might have something to do.
Our grandkids call my husband Poppy.
How's Poppy? They want to know how's Poppy. See, all of this tapping in is a bit of a game of charades, unless there's been a few times that Nadine and I'm like, Nadine, I just got a name, which is crazy cool because I like that. I want them to be forward and give me a name so I don't have to do all the guesswork and the game of charades.
So this is your husband they call Poppy?
Yeah.
Okay, so this could be his mom coming through as well, is my feeling. I think Sue's connecting with, because his mom's crossed over, correct? Your mother-in-law?
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So that's her stepping forward. Sorry, Sue.
Bring it, babe. Help me out. It's
her stuff. So what's your connection to the beach, to the sand, to the water? Like, do you live by the beach, or did your mother-in-law or somebody, there's some kind of warm beach, sunny, or you have a vacation?
We went to Hawaii last fall.
Just went to Hawaii. Okay. So because she shows me turtles. She keeps showing me turtles and the beach and the turtles. So whatever that means to you is what she keeps showing me. But there's also a vacation coming up for you. So I don't know if you have it planned or what's going on, but she shows me you going to the beach again. Like there's something coming up with the beach. Also, she shows me books, like reading. Was she a big reader, or you're a big reader? Because she just shows me like a library of books.
I think she read a lot of books.
Yeah, but they're so important to her. like reading and books was very, very important to her. And something, yeah. So something and puzzles. She likes to do puzzles, game words, crosswords, things like that. That's what I'm seeing with your mom as well. And the hard part is that when the mother-in-law and the mother come in together and grandma, it all feels the same. So whatever the messages mean to you and who they connect with, because my feeling is they're all here. Your mom is the strongest. Obviously, she's coming in the strongest, but the other two are coming. I just heard cancer again. So did the mother-in-law pass of cancer as well? Who's the second cancer?
No, she passed just of old age.
Just of old age. Okay.
I got to tell you the symbolization of the poppy.
Yes.
As they are symbols of sleep and regeneration on a spiritual level, poppies symbolize the eternal life of the soul, including reincarnation. They remind us that death of a physical body on earth is just a step in evolution of the soul. That's beautiful.
I
How
just
does
lost
that feel, Kim?
cancer. Yeah, I was gonna say I just lost a nephew to cancer in December.
Mm.
I'm so sorry. So this is her way of saying she's there with her, because it's funny, as Sue was talking, I kept hearing cancer and cancer and cancer over again. They're not dropping it with me. So I'm happy that you're able to tune into that and to pick that up. There's something to do with baseball as well. So is your nephew a big sports guy, or did he play baseball?
His brother did. Okay.
There's a baseball connection with that. Is there anybody else? So the other thing is like astrology wise, I don't know when Cancer's birthdays are. Is this June? Maybe?
July. My husband's actually a Cancer. He's a July baby.
That's so okay. I know this is just crazy because I feel it. But yeah, that's when they're saying cancer to me, she wouldn't drop it, but she was talking about actual cancer. And then she kept saying to me, birthdays, astrology, who's a cancer? So this must be his mom coming through. So what's happening right now is you have a ton of spirits that love you, and they're all coming in at once, because this is their opportunity, especially on Valentine's Day. They're like, we love you, we love you, we love you.
And I love the symbol of the poppy too. Not only do, husbands call poppy, but the symbolization of poppy, especially with all the spirits that are around saying, we're still here. We still love you. Feel us, sense us. Yeah. Something that's coming up to me with the cancer and the throat cancer. I want to be sure that, Kim, that you are speaking your truth too. There's a lot of energy within that cancer of taking care of yourself and speaking your truth. Is that something that does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing with speaking your truth and finding ways to do that?
Yeah, it depends on who I'm talking to.
And now that's the truth. That's a very honest answer.
That is, right? Yeah.
That's the truth. Symbolically, there's a lot of hearts. They keep drawing hearts. So this is definitely a message from your mom. I see hearts. So there you'll have heart-shaped rocks, different symbols of hearts with you. Does that make sense? She shows me hearts of this is me. Whenever you notice the heart, this is me. This is mom coming through really strong.
Okay.
Yeah. So look for the hearts, look, especially rocks. I don't know if you collect rocks or somebody collects rocks, but there's definitely the rocks. There's a rocks connection.
Okay.
The other thing is butterflies. I don't know how you connect to butterflies, but again, this is another sign and symbol from spirit for you.
Okay.
And that's regeneration and rebirth too. So that's beautiful as well. Look at that whole theme that's happening there. It's beautiful.
Love you so much. Please tell your husband.
Yeah.
His mom loves him so much. So much. And man, is she a feisty old lady? Like, she is so strong. She is so strong and determined, and like she's like, no BS, and I can do it myself. And she was so much worried about taking care of other people than herself, as are most women, right? But she's very determined, his mom, and very like, I got this, and you can thank him for helping me, but I could have done it myself. Like, she's got such a attitude about her, and I love it. But tell your husband she loves him. He knows it. But yeah, she loves him so much. And something about new shirts. He needs new shirts, or did you buy him new shirts, or something about it? She just showed me a new t-shirt.
A new t-shirt? No, he hasn't gotten anything new lately.
Might be coming.
Could be coming.
Yeah, it could be coming. I did that reading in a box and I was telling my client, there is a box of family memorabilia coming to you. And, within a couple months, she sends me an email. She's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, see? Yeah. Anyways, Kim, thank you so much, love. We hope that we were of great service to you. And
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Big blessings. Stay in touch with the spirits. They're there to love on you. We are going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we have got Gretchen on the line. So stay with us. Sue Lundquist here with the Gratitude Cafe. Sue and Nadine are taking calls. If you'd like to get in the queue, you can do that at 1-888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527. We'll be right back.
Cool. All clear. Still live on YouTube.
Still live on YouTube. So that was beautiful. And of course, it's Queen of Hearts. And
the
again,
fact that she got through right away. I love that.
I love that.
She heard it and she called and she got in the queue right away, because I knew it. I could just feel it. That's who was trying to reach out, was the right now. I don't feel it. Now I'm good. Now I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not choking.
Yes, I get it.
And you earlier were caught before we started. We're coughing and clearing the throat. And then I couldn't stop feeling that either. So I had to say something. But the beautiful thing about her mom is so bold, very strong. She comes from a line of very strong women on her husband's side and her side, very strong, powerful women. So
yes,
that's exciting. When spirit comes in so clear and strong with names.
Oh, with names. I love that. That's happened a few times. I'm like, and the shock on my person's face, the human in front of me. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just coming through me.
But good on her for recognizing it.
Yeah.
Good on her for making the connection, even with the cancer, making the connections. And the cancer is the birth date, right? And the names, making those connections, because we always talk about spiritual amnesia. This is just a game of charades for us. We don't always know where it's going to fit. And sometimes the person on the line or in front of us doesn't know where it fits either.
Right.
Until later. That's why we always say, if it doesn't make sense now, it's going to make sense later. Yeah. Because the mom, like her husband's, sorry, I got to keep talking because they're still here. And I hope she's listening to this, because her husband's mother, the strong one that comes in. So she shows me him needing new shirts. He needs new shirts. I see him always in t-shirts when I picture him. He's in t-shirts and shorts. And she's like, oh, and she says, I wish he'd just wear a tie.
Oh.
And she wants to buy him ties. And she's like, he needs a new tie. And I wish he would just wear ties. And he needs some new shirts because they're all full of holes. Take your husband shopping is what she said.
There's mom for you. And I love
clothes for Valentine's.
Yes. And I love this because there's a message in all of this for us, right? I mean, we get the message. So I want to circle back around. I'm sure we got tight on the commercials, but circle back around. Even though it is a game of charades, it's very important that we get validation.
Always.
And always. We're not fishing for anything, right? All right, it looks like
but we always have to ask. We always have to ask, does this make sense? Because we need that validation for ourselves that we're actually connected. So the validation isn't just for them.
Yeah, I need to bring you guys back on.
We gotta go.
Oh,
yep. Hang tight.
Oh, beautiful. Welcome back. Woohoo! Sue Lundquist here with the gorgeous Nadine LeGreca. Oh, that was funny how I said LeGreca.
LeGreca.
LeGreca. Ooh, baby.
It's a mouthful. And I'm a handful.
Oh, totally. Completely. Beautiful messages. We are going to take Gretchen. Gretchen, sweetheart, thank you so much for being on hold and taking the time with us. I'm Sue.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
I can, Gretchen. Hi, love. Meet Nadine.
Awesome. I love your show, and I love when Nadine is on the show. So thank
I
you.
know. We love doing it. Swimming in the soup, right?
Right. So I felt like, sometimes when I hear that there's a psychic medium available, I get selfish and I want the message for me, but I don't think the message is for me. But I feel like what she was saying to the last person was exactly what the vibration is around me today, because my cousin, I'm meeting her parents today to give her some t-shirts. And I travel for a living, and I'm suggesting she read some books. Does that ring any bells?
Wow, aligned vibration.
Lymphoma, which is the lymph nodes of the neck, and she's losing her 5th round of chemo and radiation, and they feel like she's terminal now. And I am a Reiki practitioner, and I'm reading a book called Supercharged Self-Healing. Didn't you have that person on, RJ Spina?
Yes.
And I feel like I'm compelled to share this information with her. I don't know if she's going to believe it. I'm not seeing her. She's immunocompromised. I'm seeing her parents. So her dad is my dad's brother, and my dad died of cancer when I was 9, unrelated to throats. But I just felt like you were saying, I need to call in, because all the things you were saying were what I was thinking.
Oh, I love that alignment. And look at the power in speaking our truth. First, getting clear on what that looks like, right? Go ahead, Nadine.
I have goosebumps all over me. All over me. I can't believe it. But see, I'm so thankful you called in, because this is exactly what we're talking about, how spirit can work through us to relate to you. Even if we're talking to somebody else, you know that it's your spirit coming through as well, and that the messages are for you. How you connected the dots. That's why, like, when you go see a big Teresa Caputo show, right? She's got this huge show. That's the reason why she only does so many messages, is because those same messages can connect to multiple people, because spirit can come together with someone else in order to give you messages. Similar stories will come together to give you a message. So thank you for tuning into that. I got goosebumps all over. I'm like, holy man, the fact that you connected all those dots. There's something about, I keep seeing lifetime, over and over and over, and within your lifetime. So there's something that's a big dream of yours, and it's going to come within your lifetime. So don't worry about it not showing up. It's coming.
Okay.
Whatever that means to you, within your lifetime. So it might be something where you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this within my lifetime, but you will.
Great. That's awesome.
Hey, Gretchen, I don't know if this aligns with you or not, or if I'm picking, it feels like more of a masculine energy, but when you were both talking, I feel really dizzy, like lightheaded right now, which is pretty uncommon for me, because I'm so business oriented. When I have to do the radio show, I can't really totally fully tap in, but I literally feel very dizzy. My palms are sweating. Does that relate to you and what's happening in your body? Or was that something that, was it Dad? It feels like a masculine energy to me that was feeling towards the end.
I'm not feeling sweaty or dizzy, but I'm going to think about that.
Like a dizziness in the head.
Dizziness. I'm trying to see what that might relate to as well. Dizziness.
They keep showing me an arrow pointing to Gretchen, like I'm pointing back to Gretchen.
Well, is it
there's masculine energy?
I'm constantly, you were saying nervous system. I've been really, really wanting to learn more about how to calm my nervous system. It feels like that could be related to dizziness, because it is an energetic, like high velocity energy that you have when you're like, can't calm your nervous system down. And it will cause people to confuse their thoughts, which could look fuzzy or dizzy, in my opinion. I'm not dizzy literally, but I
agree with everything that you're saying. I agree with everything that you're saying. However, no, this is something, and I don't know if it's another caller coming in. It's still lingering with me. Like I feel really weird, fuzzy in my head. But Gretchen, you know about Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? And his work.
Dispenza.
Yeah, look him up, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
What do they do?
Can I just say one thing real quick? Sorry, I'm like
Yes.
waiting for my turn. I'm so bad at over talking over people. So I'm like waiting my turn patiently with my ADHD. So the other thing I was going to say in regards to the dizziness and the sweaty palms is this is how spirit is going to show up for her. So I know you do Reiki, right? Which is your hands and everything like that. So when you're doing your treatments, I would pay attention to what Sue's saying about the dizziness and the palms. But here's the thing. This is, if you ever feel dizzy or if your palms are sweating, I feel like this is a sign that spirit is around you. And the fogginess and like when their energy is, because you have abilities yourself. You have that psychic mediumship within yourself. If you chose to pursue this line of work, you could absolutely do it. You already have that ability.
Tapped in.
Here comes mom.
Yep.
Here comes mom. Encouraging. Your mom is so encouraging. She's encouraging you on the spiritual path. Develop this path. Go that direction. It's the right direction. You definitely have the abilities. And there's going to be traveling with your work. I'm not sure if that makes sense now, or this is something that's coming up for you, but I see you traveling in your work. I see you developing your intuition and all these things quicker. And just so you know, lightheadedness, palm sweating, maybe dizziness is spirit around you.
Okay, great.
So that's a discernment. It sounds like it's a discernment message, right? Because, we can get, like earlier we were, clearing our throats, dizziness, which, unless it's a really strong feeling or sensation I'm getting, because I'm having to do business and radio stuff. So I'm not fully tapped in or expanding my energy, although sometimes it hits really hard. But Gretchen, how does that all feel for you?
That all feels really great because that's what I'm doing. Because I fly for a living now and I want to fly. I'm on the wrong side of the airplane. I'm a flight attendant and I feel like I hear that you're on the wrong side. You should be sitting in the seat being served. Why are you in the serving side of the airplane? It's like, what? I'm supposed to be sitting.
But look at all the people. Oh, the top of my head just started tingling.
Traveling for work.
But look at all the people you get to touch, Gretchen. Look at that frequency and energy that you get. You're serving, that being of service with people. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right.
You're out of it. I've done it for 24 years.
That is so crazy. Yeah. That is so crazy that you actually fly for a living right now. That's crazy to me. Oh my God. It never gets better than that. It never gets better. But you're right. There is you sitting in the seat and traveling for work. That's what's next. That's what's coming.
Yeah.
Because I know that you definitely you're so talented at helping and healing people. You're very, very in tune with the spiritual world as well as this world, but it's definitely your calling.
Yes, I feel like it is. And that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yay. Was that of help? Were we of service for you, sweetheart?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate taking the call and what a wonderful show. I love Tuesdays. Tuesdays are so much fun.
Oh, thank you. Stay in touch, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Yay. I love that. I'm still like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I feel like I've stood up too quick.
I know. And I'm so sorry. I just have to talk a million miles a minute because
babe.
Spirit
I do. Yes.
They vibrate so fast and sometimes, and because we only have a short amount of time with everybody, we have to talk really, really fast because their spirits are like,
yes. Ooh, it almost feels like I'm getting an upgrade or something. I don't know what
flying for a living,
come on,
traveling.
Love that.
Work.
Love that.
That was crazy. I love it. It surprises me every time.
I know. It's humbling. I love it. So let's go back to, I'm still trying to shake this. I think I am. There's something going on with my energy body. I must be upgrading or downloading, or it feels like an upgrade.
Well, we have a ton of spiritual energy right now. Tons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can feel it too. Yeah. It's lots of spiritual energy, lots of Cancer today.
Yeah. It's all around. I'm like, woo. Mama.
I can feel your dad. I can feel my dad. And I can feel your dad here right now. And have you been thinking about him a lot? He's been around you like really strong and intense. So I'm not sure if you're going through something very emotional right now where you feel like you need a lot of support, especially from your dad, but he supports whatever you're doing right now. I don't know what it is, but he is fully supporting you and he's lifting you up and holding you up. So whatever it is, yes, call on your dad. He's there for you.
Good.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It totally makes sense, babe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah. I got to tell you, but we it has to be offline. I can't tell you what's going on.
Yeah. No, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I get
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And I was just I just came across this picture this morning. So of course. Oh.
it. His picture this morning.
Yeah. My dad's picture this morning. Of course they did.
And there's music coming, like his song, something about his music or his song, or you've been listening to something that reminds you of him musically. I hear music.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does your dad come as birds? Or what's
Yes.
the bird?
Yep.
The bird connection. I just saw a bluebird. I'm not sure if it's an actual bluebird, but I just saw a bird flying up and visiting you.
Yeah. He comes to me in birds and cranes. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Super
Yeah,
cool.
thank you. And I'm taking flight again, so I'm glad that he's with me. Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is a nice message. Thank you, sweetheart. So
You're welcome.
again, an overlaying message, of course, of love. It always is of love, and for Nadine and I are not here to make believers out of you. We're not proving anything. It's just, it is what it is. And again, it's about new perspective, new thoughts, new ideas, and bringing those new perspectives, new thoughts to you so you can have some paradigm shifts, regardless of what resonates and what doesn't. Just honestly, step into the faith of it all, step into the trust of it all, and take what resonates, right?
Yeah. And I mean, we are not going to resonate with everybody.
No,
Not everybody.
That's not our job. Nobody.
That's not our job. Not everybody's going to believe what we're saying.
Nope.
But so find your person. If you're into this kind of work and you don't resonate with who we are or what we're saying, you can still find your person. It doesn't mean you don't necessarily believe in this.
Yeah.
Like you said, take from it what you will and let go what you don't.
Yeah. And have faith. And that parlays into the 3D conversation too. And just your meaning 3D life. And we have bills to pay and conversations to have. And again, it's making choices from above the line appreciation, gratitude, making choices not from fear, but from love and appreciation and gratitude. Regardless, you're going to learn either way. You're going to get knowledge. If it's a yes or a no, it's knowledge. It's again, the CCs in life, have compassionate curiosity. The self-regulating tools are coming out here, but it's important because you get messages, healing messages, you get messages through a song, through a jar of pickles, whatever it is, or, dad cowboy hat, right?
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah. All of that.
And that's what we were talking about before the show even started, and we always end up teaching this every show, especially around the holidays.
Yeah.
Right. So like today, the symbols of the hearts coming up, the rocks coming up, the butterflies, or, your dad, the picture of your dad coming through music. So that's always a topic of ours, is the signs and symbols, especially around this time, because people are like, if you're here, please just show me something, send me a sign. Right.
And then you have to be in awareness, and that
to be in awareness,
and that faith that song came on, that bird showed up, that flower popped in, that conversation that you overheard at the coffee shop, whatever it is, you take that moment of love and appreciation, go, I heard you, thank you so much. Because they love that. They love that thing, right? They really do.
And you got to trust your gut on that one. Can I give you a super cool story? What happened on Valentine's? So my manager at work, whatever, she's very she's in tune. She's definitely a psychic medium or whatever. And since I started working with her, of course, our energies together are just crazy, the amount that's happening. Anywho, yesterday she was walking into work and she found 2 dimes. And we know dimes come from spirit, right? She found 2 dimes and right away. And oh no, sorry. She found one dime and I knew who it was. It was from her mom and her dad, which was tricky, right? Because lots of times one dime is from one person and one dime's from another. So she came in with one dime and I knew it was from her mom and dad. So I said to her, who's it from? Right? To teach her how to tune into that. She said, I found a dime. And I said, well, who's it from? And she said, well, first I thought it was my mom, but then I thought it was my dad. Is it both of them? She's like, I think it's both of them. And I'm like, you're right. See, I knew the answer, but it was so cool that she knew it too. And that's why we love teaching.
Yes. And it's
cool.
learning that discernment. That is beautiful. I love that. And that discernment's really important. You've got to also know your frequency and where you're at. It's, the conversation that I've had about that black lab a few years ago. I just offered to go in and tap in to the dog and to see if I could relieve whatever was going on. And as I'm driving to the owner's house, I literally felt like my gut was going to come out and I was going to have diarrhea. It was just awful. I'm like feeling so sick. Right. And I did the mental discernment checklist, the 3D. What did I eat? What am I doing? Yeah. And I was totally fine. I'm like, I get in the house and the dog had diarrhea, vomiting all night. So just like earlier at the top of the hour, you were talking about your throat and it was tight. So knowing your body, because there's all different sensations, the senses, the smelling, the sight, the feeling. My boundaries with spirit. I really don't want to feel a heart attack. I don't want to feel choked.
No
boundaries. They ain't allowed in my bathroom or my bedroom.
They will choke me.
Oh, where'd you go, babe?
Oh, sorry.
There you are. Hi. Yeah. You and I both the whole video.
Yeah. Like for me, physical medium, they'll choke me. They'll send me a pain in my heart. Yeah. They'll do whatever they want, but it's just, to me, I know it's information. So it's not a big deal anymore. As long as I get the message out, it's fine. It's funny because I hear two different things when I'm listening to you. One is we have to pull a card with the animals from the animal deck. That's one. But the other one is, did you buy Levi? Did Levi get a new collar or a new, he's got something that's new collar, new leash, new jacket. What did you give him that's new?
I got him a whole new, because we jog together and go hiking together. So I got him a new, it's a waistband with a stretchy leash. Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Just wanted to let you know, he loves it. He wants you to know he loves it. Thank you for getting me that new thing.
You're welcome. He's right here at my feet.
Oh.
All right. Not one, but two, sweetheart. So the cards that I pulled, the Venture Spirit, Vulture Spirit, which means nothing is wasted, and the Owl Spirit, you see clearly now. Now I'll pull
birds.
Yes, birds. Yeah, and my dad, birds, right? So 43 and 63. So audience, if you're listening on the radio, Nadine said that it was important that I pulled another card because the Fox Spirit was the first one that I pulled, and that's all about thinking on your feet. So I left that off to the side, and this is a new one. So apparently we need to hear this. The Owl Spirit arrives to remind you that the wisdom within you is informed by your keen senses of wisdom. Oh my gosh, by the consciousness we all share. This is, again, my head spinning again. They're like all over me. Again, it's like the Queen of Hearts. It's about pulling, what was the other card that I pulled? Oh, the poppies. That spirits all around us. They're, it's the reincarnation and everything. So here's the Owl Spirit. Wisdom within the consciousness we all share, even in the darkest of nights. The owl sees clearly and is guided by every sense it has, including the first sense of intuition. Right now, your sensitivities are turbocharged and you are receiving messages from all directions. Whew, I'm spinning. And you too, right? The Owl Spirit reminds you to be wise and pay attention to what's between the lines, what is invisible to the naked eye, what cannot be heard with the ear, and what others may not be able to perceive. With all of your senses aroused, you have much knowledge available to you. Clarity will come as you sit with it, that you are sensing, allowing your intuition to guide you and understand the whole, not just the parts. Let your wisdom arise and be your inner guide as you trust the acuity of your own senses. Wow. Intuition is real and can provide clarity you need to understand your situation right now, your relationship, your finances, your job, whatever it is. You can get clear now. Again, it's based on intuition and following, having that faith. That's the owl spirit. Based on Nadine saying, we got to pull a card. And 2 popped out. So again, 2 popped out. So I'm trusting in that message, right?
Yeah.
And this one is the vulture spirit. And the vulture is nothing is wasted. What seems hideous has its own beauty. And the recycling and the repurposing of the vulture is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Venture Spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted. For nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has potential to be transformed into something beneficial. Again, it's the contrast. It's the contrast of discerning whether it's a yes or a no. It's still going to be a beautiful message, right?
Yes. Yes.
Or a knowledge. You're gleaning something from that. So take out the sting of whatever you're feeling, the fear, the resentments. Something beneficial, and you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone wasted. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience, that's what I just said, are talismans that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. I love that. I know. What is decaying is only changing the form and will fertilize seeds that you plant. Again, going on that trust and faith and knowing that you're still learning as you go. So have the CCs in life. Fertilizing seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into substance that will support your new growth. All that you might wish to deny and discard has value and can be repurposed, reintegrated into a new you. That you are becoming a new life that you are dreaming into being. No pain was in vain and no experience was wasted, for you have the power to use it and co-create something far better. This is the miracle in the partnership with Spirit.
Gorgeous. I love it. That's
Wow.
beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Love
That's gorgeous. One of my messages I always tell people, like quickly with teaching, is whether you let's say you take something, whether you love it or you hate it, that's the information. There was lots of courses and classes that I took thinking, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to learn this, and this is what I'm going to do. And then it wasn't until I actually took the class that I knew, nope.
No, not it.
That whole time I'm thinking, sorry, my phone the internet's kind of crazy here, but that whole time I'm thinking, this is what I want to do, until I did it.
Yeah.
So that's basically the messages are saying too, is right. Like it's all information.
It's all information. And if it's something like that, whether it's a class or not, or you need to hire or fire somebody, do it quickly, get it over with, make the mistake quick, rebound, go, just do it. Yeah. You can always shift and navigate through all of that. Oh my goodness. What a great show. My love. I love
it.
It's
so good. And to remember, look for those things, especially today, after you've heard this show, look for those signs and symbols, the birds, the butterflies, the rocks, the hearts, and what it means to you, and trust you know who it is.
Yes. And say thank you and hold that love in your heart, because we're a thin veil. We're all frequency. We're all energy. Whether it's on a Valentine's Day of marketing, every day is love. It's your choice. You have the permission. So choose love and trust. And with that, Sue Lundquist here with the Gratitude Cafe and Miss Gorgeous Nadine LeGreca and my superstar Benny. Thank you so much. For those of you in the iTunes world, thank you. 5-star, 6-star, 10-star. We love you. And until next week, we will see you. Until next week, each of you are a gift, and get out there and share yourself with the world.